What a day to be alive. Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. Rodney Matthews has proposed to his girlfriend, and I am happy to report she said yes. She said yes. We've got all of the information here in this proposal. A beautiful one indeed. Now, Rodney Matthews, to dust up your memory, was on the season with Michelle Young when she was Bachelorette, and he was a fan favorite. She ended up choosing Nate, and Nate and her broke up, but she is now happily with someone else. Nate is with someone else, and Rodney found his love. Rodney went on Bachelor in Paradise, of course. It didn't work out. We had that Eliza storyline, a Lace storyline. He was, when he left the show, he really... It was a real special moment, probably unlike anything we've ever seen on Bachelor in Paradise, where the cast members were distraught. They were crying. It was very, it could have been the heat and the general, cult-like scenario set forth by the producers. But either way, it was easy to see how much of a fan favorite Rodney is and how much of a cast favorite he is. He is a lovely person. Make no mistake. I have had the pleasure of meeting him and can concur. He is nothing but smiles. He has overcome a lot of interesting hurdles in life, and he's here to tell the story. My son's sad, too. My son was crying. Everyone's crying when they don't get a chance to hang out with Rodney Matthews. It's all right, August. We'll get to see Rodney someday. Rodney's taken right now. He's with Ari. So here it is, folks. Here is the proposal. Beautiful florals. I don't know where they are, but doesn't this look nice? And as we know, in the influencer world of Bachelor Nation, when you propose, it's going to get picked up, so you have to have your tags right. He's got the photographer, he's got the floral, the Divine Plan events, and he's got Sophia Common for the engagement ring. He's got it all. So here he is. Now, Are ladies ever surprised with proposals anymore? Clearly they're dressed to the nines. Maybe she thought something was happening. He had her get her manicure, I'm assuming, or you got to get the manicure. You can't just take this photo and not be well prepared. Hey, maybe she comes out of the box looking like this. Who knows? I certainly don't. She's got this sort of worldwide wrestling belt. Women love a good belt, right? Don't get in the way of a woman's belt. There's a lot happening there. Anyway, like a weightlifting belt. But she's carrying the burden of love. So here they are, looking happy as a clam, as we like to say here in coastal Rhode Island. But honestly, what a amazing time for them. A nice black and white photo of the proposal. She really does look surprised. I'm sure even if she thought it was coming, you never know for sure. So there is just that moment of relief. And she found her person, and so did he. There they are smooching. Now, this is what's interesting. It looks like they've got a nice little note here, maybe a newspaper recreation of how they met. Ari and Rodney engaged. We met at the Venice Whaler. Now, if you aren't familiar with the Venice Whaler, let me tell you something. First of all, it's not the classiest place in the world. It is a place of debauchery at the Venice Pier. It is where you go to spend extra money on high-priced drinks in hopes to find somebody else who happens to be in Venice at the same time. It is a cool place, multiple levels right on the water, things like that. But the story is way more interesting than the venue. The story comes with Rodney shooting his shot. But look at all the comments. Everybody's so happy. Serene's happy. I'm happy. Mike Johnson's there. Ivan, Andrew, they're all happy. Well, rather than explain it for you right now, let's take a look back down memory lane to my interview of Rodney a while back when he was just dating his now fiance, and hear him tell the story about how they met. It's a good one.
We found each other, and we met at the Venice, the Whaler in Venice.
All right,
which is crazy.
That's a high volume place.
I've never been there my entire life.
Yeah.
And our story is just so funny, and people to this day still didn't even believe it until we posted it and posted the videos.
Who were you with when you met her?
So I had a good amount of group with me. Yeah, I had a good amount of friends with me, about 5 or 6.
Did you have Bachelor guys with you?
So I had Justin with me.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did have.
You guys must have got a sore thumb.
Yeah.
Oh, but they're the Bachelor guys.
But funny enough, that night, thankfully, no one recognized us, which was great. I love that. And, Ari walks in with her best friend. Aubrey, and you know, we see these two girls walk in. They're over by the DJ booth, and me and Justin are there with a good group of my friends from high school and college. And when she walked in, I'm like, wait a minute. It's funny. I was waiting for another friend to show up. I said, as soon as Dalen gets here, I'm leaving. This place is weird. We got to get out of here. It's a crazy crowd. The drinks suck. I said, the only good thing about this place right now in my life is the music.
Yeah.
It had 90s, 2000s hip hop and R&B. And if that music's playing, like, I will give a place a chance.
For sure.
But that was the only good part of that night at first. And thank God my friend was running late, because I said, guys, as soon as he gets here, this place is weird. We got to dip.
Okay, so let me paint the picture. You and Justin, you're all bullshitting and place sucks. All of a sudden, you say Ari?
Yes.
Ari walks in with Aubrey. Is that
Yes.
a friend? Ari and Aubrey.
Yep.
And then everything stands still. The wind hits her hair. She's everything, and then this like path opens up. And,
Yeah.
Okay, and then what?
Dave, it was like a movie. Like, the light just shone. I was like, wait a minute.
The disco ball hits her.
Yeah, like,
I'm
just the
imagining
light.
this was like a daytime brunch, though.
So no, this was nighttime.
Okay.
This
Oh,
is
you're at the
nighttime.
Whaler at nighttime. You're really,
Whaler at nighttime.
You're really going after it.
Yeah, it was my friends who were like, let's just try somewhere new. Let's go somewhere new and just see some new faces, and we need new scenery. I'm like, you guys are crazy. I've never been to that side of town, like, to go out. I'm like, this
It's
place.
touristy, but it's still a high volume place. So there's a lot of people that come and go.
Right. I mean, thank God that I gave it a chance that night, and I didn't leave too early. And so as soon as we met, like, our eyes kind of locked, and it was one of those things where I'm like, I'm 95% positive this woman's looking at me, but either way, I need to go up and get her name and number before we leave.
Well, they used to call that like the 3-second rule, where once you make eye contact, it's almost like you have to go now, or
Yes.
else you'll kind of look a little weak if you're like kind of like, ooh. So were you like, I think she's looking at me, and then you just like, what's the move?
Yeah, like me and Justin were going back and forth. I was like, Justin, I see this girl. I almost feel like she's looking at me. Either way, I have to shoot my shot. And he's like, all right, well, you know, let's get a game plan going. Let's get a game plan. I'm like, no, I just need to go. Like, it was one of those where, like, I didn't want to sit there and wait for like 10, 15 minutes. Him and I were going back and forth for a
you'll
good 5
talk yourself out of it, or you'll talk yourself into some shitty pickup line.
Yeah, in which I ended up having a shitty pickup line. Unfortunately, like, that's just my style. I'm just, like, ridiculous. And so I walk up to her finally, and Rihanna's playing in the background. And it was Disturbia, and I'm like, I walk up to her, this ridiculous line of like, hey miss, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you during Disturbia. And she's like, did you actually mean to say that? And I'm like, look, I'm ridiculous, but I would love to just get your name and buy you a drink if that's okay. And so she said, yeah, sure, but you have to buy my friend a drink too. I said, say no more. I'll be right back.
West Coast prices, $9 drinks at the minimum.
I was like,
probably 15 actually over there.
It was a little hefty price, but I was willing to risk it all. And so me and Justin go to the bar real quick, and he's like, okay, like, do you think they know who we are? I said, absolutely not. Let's just, let's keep this going. I'm Rodney. That's it. We're very normal people, and I just keep that going. I was like, I'm a normal guy, and I'm willing to prove that. And so that night, I'd come back with the drinks, and we start talking all night and laughing and joking, just going back and forth. And I just finally asked her, I said, what's your go-to karaoke song? And she said, oh, it's got to be No Air Jordan Sparks Chris Brown. I said, no problem. I go to the DJ booth, request it. About 10, 15 minutes later, it finally comes on. She's like, wait, what? I was like, yeah, let's go. Like, you're Jordan Sparks, I'm Chris Brown. Let's go ahead and just start singing it. And so we start singing it and going back and forth. And we're fully, like, thinking we're in a 90s MTV, like, music video. Like, it's just me and her in there. The dance floor starts clearing out. People are like, what? And me and her just start going. Like, we're just singing, dancing, laughing, like, going back and forth, sing the entire song. As soon as we're done, people come up to us left and right. They're like, you guys are the most beautiful couple we've ever seen. Like, you guys are just so adorable, so cute. And we're like, we just met about an hour ago.
Yeah, that's crowdsourcing, man. The strangers will tell you the truth.
Yeah,
they will tell you the
exactly,
truth
because they have no other bias, no reason not to.
No.
And not, like I said, not one person was in there like, oh, Rodney from The Bachelor. Like, no. And no one recognized us. No one was in there taking videos or anything like that. The funniest part is, like, her friend was recording her, like, I can't believe Ari's so happy right now. And then all of a sudden, they sent the footage back to her friends on the East Coast of, like, Ari met this guy last night. She seems so happy. Like, he's asking her out on a date.
Wait, they had the karaoke footage?
Oh, yeah. So her best friend was recording, right?
Oh, my gosh.
And so even so that happened, and they sent that back to her best friends on the East Coast, because she's from New Jersey.
Oh, love Jersey girls.
And so
Garden
her
State represent.
right. So the Jersey girls, her best friends back home, they watched the show, but her and her best friend that night, they've never seen the show in their life. So
Boy, they're gonna do a deep dive on you
immediately. So.
Which, by the way, that can't affect the first impression. The first impression does not get changed. So that's great that you guys were able to have that before they did the research. Because these ladies, they will be doing deep dives. They'll have all the tabs open on you.
I always get worried that someone's just going to like think about the show or go straight to my IG or anything like that. And I really wanted someone who could like connect with me for me.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I loved that fact that it was just so real, natural, and organic. And even the way that she found out, I remember she's just like, man, I really hope like that guy asks me out or takes me out on a date. And I told her immediately, I was like, I'm here. Like, what are you doing Wednesday at 7 o'clock?
So the night you met, you were ready to plan the next time you were going to see her.
Immediately.
That's so great.
Immediately, yeah.
You need to take I think people, when we talk about like the law of attraction, I think people respond to that trust when you're confident.
Yes.
Now, some people might get needy, but I don't think relationships, I think if someone's pushy or whatever, the relationship's already weird. But if you're like, I know what I want, I think a lot of women and men too would just respect that somebody has a rudder, has a direction they want to go.
Exactly. I'm very intentional, and I make that known from the get-go. It's like, hey, I'm here to, and even on our first date, she's like, all right, I need to know your intentions, because she's like, I've been on a lot of bad first dates, and I just need to know your intentions. I said, well, I'm here to look for a future wife, and so, you know, obviously we'll start slow and everything, but it's like, I'm here for my future. I'm looking to be a husband, a father. Like, I'm looking to move on to the next stage of my life. I'm not just trying to be a bachelor forever. I really want to move on with my life. And so that was the coolest part of having that first date. And I remember she went back to her friends and confirmed it was like the first date was amazing, and I really like this guy, I'm excited. And then I remember her friends kept asking more questions. And so they're just like, you know, what's his name again? She's like, okay, Rodney. And she was like, oh yeah, we got footage from the first night. So she sent them the videos from our first night together, which is the videos I posted for our hard launch. And once she sent those videos, her friends were like, oh my God, like, do you know who that is? And
so
she's like, what are you talking about?
You didn't even warn her?
Not a chance, no.
Wow.
I did not.
That's impressive.
Yeah, our first date, you know, obviously first time we met.
I'm so insecure, I'd be leading with that. I'm verified. Hey, how are you? People know who I am.
We did not even, our first date, we didn't even have our Instagrams. Like, I wanted this to be so pure and organic, and to confirm that she wanted me for me and vice versa. And so I was just so excited for that fact. And then I remember our second date is when she finally admitted. She's like, okay, so we need to talk about your past a little bit, if that's okay. I was like, oh, okay, like let's talk about it. I remember her friends kept telling her and asking her, like, wait, you mean to tell me you guys went through a whole 3 or 4 hour first date at a restaurant and didn't once talk about the show? She's like, no, he never brought that up. I'm just now learning from you guys that he was even on a show. Like, I don't have his Instagram, you know? So I think that made it even better in my eyes, that it was just so pure and genuine of like, this woman truly wants me for me, because that's all she knew at first. And now that this layer was added into it, and obviously we went over it, and she's like, I just want you, whatever you feel comfortable telling me about the show is what I want to hear.
Interesting stuff. And the romance between Rodney and his now fiance isn't the only romance in the world. Here's an actual fun throwback of Michelle Young. You know, I was looking to find some clips of Rodney here, and here's Michelle Young asking Nate and Rodney about their bromance. Of course, this is when Michelle was, I believe, still with Nate. This is from 2 years ago. But you can really see that anyone who is lucky enough to be in Rodney's company becomes family.
This is kind of weird for me to ask, but I feel like it's something that's commented on all the time. Is it weird, or like how the two of you, this is going to go to both of you, how have the two of you been able to maintain your relationship or friendship through the show in this weird situation? Like, let's just talk about it, because I feel like everybody asks. Anytime Rodney's on my Instagram story, everyone's like, "That's weird."
It's like, that's my dog. I don't even care if he's also dating the girl I'm dating on a reality TV show.
Weird. Why do you hang out?
Wow. It really hurts. It really hurts. I think for me, in a sense, I look at our experience as a whole. Obviously, like, we all met the same night, right? And clearly, I truly think everything happens for a reason. And so even watching back with your guys' connection, like, Michelle, I knew you and I were going to be cool instantly. I just felt that. But seeing the spark that you guys had, I was like, okay, this is different. And so I knew, obviously, living with Nate throughout the process, I'd come back from a date and I was like, oh, I'm so excited. Nate would come back from a date and Nate's like, bro, you don't understand. Like, we had the best time ever. So happy.
I mean, look, tell me if you're not smiling as you watch Rodney do anything, go to therapy, because he makes you happy. He's a good guy. He's on such high frequencies. So congrats to Rodney. We don't know much about his fiance, which is a good thing. You know, I don't know much about her. She wasn't on the show, but hoping maybe they'll get on Shandy's Love Fest, or maybe they'll be on some other episodes where they can talk about their love and share it if they so choose. Congratulations from my humble community here in the niche side of Bachelor Nation News. Congratulations to Rodney, and we wish you and your partner the best. All right. Well, I will have more content coming for you this afternoon on the Rush Hour podcast. It's available anywhere you listen to podcasts. Just search Rush Hour with Dave Neal, or Dave Neal on your phones, whether it's iPhone or Droid. It's free. You can stream it, and you can go check out all of the entertainment and pop culture news right there. We'll see you then. Bye, everybody.